Hello everybody and welcome back to RainBro Crafts. My name is Colton and today I will be making for you the third soap in our Citrus in July collection, and that soap is entitled Lime in the Coconut. This is a scent that is a little less citrus forward than some of the other soaps in our collection, but it does fit nicely in with the summery kind of beachy vibes that most of our scents went with, so it does slot in really nicely. This one Zac will be making for us, and it is a new fragrance oil that we haven't tried before from the Flaming Candle Company, and I mentioned them in the very Saint-Tropez soap making video, and I'll put a card up in the corner if you didn't watch that video. So this is the second fragrance, and I mentioned that in that video. Like I said, this is Lime in the Coconut. It's Coconut Lime Verbena. And it has notes of lime, orange, rosewood, some tonka, some coconut, and some vanilla. It is on the sweeter side of fragrance oils, so it's not my personal favorite. However, with the ability of hindsight, because this collection has been out for one weekend, I think, maybe 2 weekends, this fragrance is doing very well with our population of customers that we sell to. So it definitely would be one that I wouldn't have an issue with bringing back. If I was picking all my favorite scents for a collection, this, however, would not be in there. This design is going to be a 3-colored design, so Zac is going to split off the soap batter into 2 pour pitchers and then leave a third of the soap batter in the Cambro there. And then for the design of this, it is all going to be green, so there is a nice kind of limey green there that he is blitzing up right now. And then there is going to be a darker green as well. And this is going to be an in-the-pot swirl design. So when we're doing an in-the-pot swirl design, we want to make sure that we are trying to keep all of the viscosity, so the thickness of the batters, about the same. If you have one batter that's a little bit thicker than others, that's going to clump together, and you're just going to have chunks of that color mixed into the soap batter, and usually those chunks are going to be towards the bottom of your soap. So if you have everything kind of in the same thickness, it's going to be a much nicer look overall. It's going to look a little more intentional. But the nature of an in-the-pot swirl is that it is not really intentional. You have very little control over what the end result is going to be like. So Zac poured in those 2 colors, the darker green and the lighter green, into that remainder of that uncolored soap base. This fragrance oil is behaving beautifully. As you can see here, it's like the perfect pouring texture. This is what we're looking for. He did reserve behind some of those 2 green soap batters, and you can kind of see them towards the bottom of the screen there. These are going to be for the top design of the soap, and the nice thing with a soap batter and a fragrance oil that behaves well is that you have a lot of time to kind of work and get those more intricate swirls and twirls and everything like that. And actually, I've been saying Zac made this soap. I actually made this soap because those are my sweatpants that you just had the luck of witnessing on camera. And clearly I don't remember that I made this soap. But it does make a lot of sense because I usually go for more of the kind of wild and a little less predictive designs, and Zac is a little more reserved and neat and tidy and layers and things like that. For this top design, I'm going to do a feathered technique, which I love, and to do that, especially with an in-the-pot swirl, you want to reserve some of the solid soap batter behind because you want to have the solid color, not the mixed up colors on the top. So you'll see that I did 3 lines of the green soap batters, one of the darker and one of the lighter. And then I also had a little bit of the mica that I used for the darker soap batter suspended in some oil left behind in that little metal cup that I have there. So I'm also going to pour that on top of the soap batter to get a little extra shimmer. And I'm going to repeat that process with that lighter green as well. We suspend all of our micas in the soap batter base oil, our blend that's in our comment section down below, so that it gets rid of all those lumps and clumps and it blends in nicely with the soap batter. So you could do that, or you can add a little bit of oil if you don't have any of that, you didn't think far enough in advance. You could do this with just a little bit of like a vegetable oil or a canola oil, like a light neutral oil. That's going to work best to do this. So I'll line that all up on the top there, and then I'll get my trusty chopstick and we will do some side to side, so like a horizontal movement, pretty close together. And that's going to get those nice, fine, feathery looks on the top of the soap, and I do love this. Green is my favorite color. I think I mentioned that in a recent video. And then I'm going to go in because I wanted something a little extra, and I'm going to do some swirls. So some just like nice kind of twirls along the whole top of the soap. This works really nicely, especially when you have the mica suspended in some oil. It just kind of helps spread it out even a little bit more. And I think it just makes it look even that much nicer. I like the feather technique. I like this even more. So we will do this across the whole top here and spritz this with some rubbing alcohol, put the lid on it, and then tuck this away for about 24 hours. And then it is time to unmold and slice up. And Zac is really doing this one. Those are his sweatpants. So we will take this out of our wooden mold, and we always do that off camera because it's not terribly exciting. And then we will get that slab out of our silicone mold. Then it is time to break down those slabs into loaves, and we get 3 loaves from our slab mold there, and then we get a little tiny end cut. And I think I've mentioned this in the past as well, but we save those and we actually chop them up and we fold them into new bars of soap. The one that's coming to mind for me is our spruce and anise soap. That is one that was a holiday soap but now is on full time, and also our lavender haze soap. Both of those actually use those end cuts to kind of give it a little something extra. It also helps reduce waste. While we do donate all of our soap waste, like our bevels and things like that, to Eco Soap Bank, we do still like to try and incorporate those into other bars of soap. And there you can see that in the pot swirl design, it's not muddy, which that is another reason why you want the viscosity to be as similar as possible. If it's too liquidy, it's gonna look really muddy. Also, if you stir your in the pot swirl a little too much, it's gonna look muddy. The thing with an in the pot swirl is it kind of looks muddy until you cut into the soap bar, so you really just have to trust the process. My question for you all, and this is from a random question generator that I found online, is have you ever pretended to be on the phone to avoid talking to someone? I have. The time that I pretend to be on the phone, and it's often, is when there's like fundraisers outside of the grocery store. So like Girl Scout cookies or like Boy Scout selling popcorn or whatever they sell. I will pretend to be talking on the phone so that I don't have to tell them no, and I don't have to talk to them because I don't usually want to talk to anyone while I'm at the grocery store, let alone someone trying to sell me cookies, because I do want them. But yes, answer that question down below. Have you ever pretended to be on the phone to avoid to talk to someone else? This soap, like I said, is called Lime in the Coconut, and it is for sale now online and in person. So check out our website, rainbrocrafts.com, to snag yourself a bar or come see us at any of the markets we're doing. Thanks for watching. If you do want to support us and get soaps or candles sent to your house each and every month, we do have a subscription service, and you can join this lovely list of individuals on screen right now and get thanked with gifts of RainBro goodies sent to your house each and every month. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below if you have pretended to be on the phone to avoid to talk to someone else. Also, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell icon so you get notified when we release new videos. Thanks. Bye.